in this particular paper pumpkin, which is the Hope kit, it's the Hope box. You're going to find that you've got a little blackberry bliss, so it's a little ink pad. You've got a reel of lovely ribbon, cut the cellophane away from that. There's quite a lot of that, and it's quite a thick, and it's like a cotton, so it's really pretty, and that's blackberry bliss. And there is quite a big amount of that. You're getting quite a lot, so there'll definitely be some of that left over. And that's the lady who started Stampin' Up there. So just pop that off to one side, just talking to you about how lovely your little Hope box is. There's a stamp set in here with some really nice stamps and a lovely butterfly and a little butterfly, and then this nice little swirly. And really what I love is a spatter. I love spatter stamps. I think they're really useful. So we can, obviously once we've used our lovely box and done everything that we need to do with it, you've got the stamp set and the ink pad to keep, which is lovely. And then in this lovely tissue paper, you've got your kit. Lots of rummage noise. I'll just move that to one side and just take my stamp set. So this lovely tissue paper, don't obviously throw that away, because you can definitely use tissue paper in your crafting. So pop that to one side. And then I'm going to just open my pack up, and we'll go through what is in the pack. So the reason why I said I'd do a little session on this is because quite often you do get quite a lot of bits in these packs, and you can make it go further than you know, what you're shown in the instructions. And the instructions are on the back here, so if you take those, pop those in front here. The idea is that you create 9 cards, 3 of each style, and then you use the large butterfly in the box to wrap around the actual box that the kit came in, and you create this little box of hope. Okay, so you've got lots of things to decorate. Now, if you didn't want to decorate the box and you wanted you could actually just use those little cutouts and things to make cards. So even though they've decorated the box and used all that lovely ribbon and stuff, you don't have to do that. It's a choice. So you could use a box for something else. But if you wanted to, that's the idea, that you can decorate. So you can make these lovely cards and then pop them in a box and add some nice little treats and things to give to somebody. So on the instructions, we've got 3 different cards. I can make one of each of the cards that they show, but I would also like to give you some little tips about how to, as I say, make the kit go further. So let's just have a look and see what we've got. So in the little pouch here, there is some sequins, which are really pretty. So some little sparkly sequins are really pretty. They're like all different colors. You've got the dimensionals, little foam pads. Okay. And then these are actually glue dots, just so you know, because you kind of think, oh, what are those? But they're actually glue dots. And so you can use them to stick your little butterflies and things in place. And they're double-sided, so basically you will pick it off, stick it on, and then just peel away the top layer. And I'll show you that when we're making the cards. And then you've got these really pretty envelopes, okay? And there is 3 of each style. So you've got, they're absolutely beautiful, because on one side they're patterned and on the other side they're patterned as well. Okay, so there's 3 of that one with the butterfly on it. There's 3 with the kind of masking pattern on it. And again, they're colored on the back as well. So there's 3 that look like that. And then you've got 3 that are really nicely patterned. And to be fair, because of how I am, I would say that you could actually use these envelopes to make cards with rather than using them as envelopes, because they are very, very pretty. And there's no reason that you can't put, because these are standard C6 style cards, there's no reason why you can't just put the cards that you make into plain envelopes and use these envelopes to actually make more cards. So then you've got 3 tags, sort of idea, these little banners, and there's 3 sheets of those. And I think looking at the style of card that these are on, I think that you would be able to just use 3 of these on each card and then have another 3 to make another card with. So I'm going to look at that because they kind of look quite, if you look at the actual card, you're actually covering over the base white layer. And I kind of think actually, if you took one of those away and just had 3 on there, I think it would look a little more pretty, more balanced, and a little bit less busy. And then you've got 3 to make another card, and it doesn't have to be that style. And you've got 3 cards, just pieces of white card. And in all of the kits that Stampin' Up do, because they're for every region, so they're for Europe and America and Canada and everywhere, they give you the different languages. So you do get these tabs that are for different languages. Don't throw away the tabs for different languages, because you can always stamp on the other side of these and use them as little tabs to put on your card. So this one that says tomorrow in a different language, I could pop that out and I could stamp on that, and then I could pop that on, you know, I could have that on a card with my stamp message on it. So don't think, oh, that's a different language, I'm not using that. That's basically a little tag that you've got that you can use. So just putting that out there before you write all those foreign ones off. And then you've got these lovely little patterned cards. And then again, you've got some tags to stamp on. These are push out tabs for stamping on. And then we've got some other nice little splatter cards, really pretty. A load of butterflies that are all push out. And then you've got some card bases. So there's 3 pink ones, and I think there's 3 that are patterned with the mask. And then there are another 3 that are blue, the pool party. Okay, and then you've got a wrap. So this is the wrap that is going to go, if you were using the box, this is going to go around the outside of the box to cover up that paper pumpkin sign. And then you've got this lovely big butterfly that would go on that box, and that would be to decorate that box. Okay, so that's if you wanted to do that with it. That's obviously what that's for. So I'm going to pop that actually to one side because I don't need it. So I'm going to just put that in the box because I don't need that just yet. I'll keep those out for now. And then we've got these lovely, I love these. Look at that, beautiful. If I put white card behind that to show you. It's a pop-out mask, basically. It's a pop-out die cut shape, and we'll be using that on one of our cards. And then you've got some tags and some lovely words and more pop-outs. And then you've got your hope words. And as I say again, do not throw these away. The ones that are the foreign language, please keep, because you will be able to use them as tags on your cards. Okay, so don't write those off, basically, is what I'm saying. So what I plan to do is I'm going to make the cards, the first sort of 3 cards, one of each, to show you how they're supposed to look, and we'll just talk about any sort of thoughts and ideas that come to mind whenever you're making up each one. So if you can basically get one of each of the cards out, so a blue one, pink one, and then a masked one. Okay, and just to say as well, if you wanted to create cards that weren't just one-dimensional, because this is, you know, if normally whenever I'm making my cards, I would tend to have the card, basically my base card, then I would have layers. I would have layers inside the card as well. I am going to just make the card up exactly as it's supposed to be to start with, but another idea would be to trim this down, layer this onto a standard C6 card base, use the inside bit to go inside the card as you would to create like an insert, just to take it one level up. But as I say, for now, I'm going to do it as they instruct you to do it. So there's going to be one of each, a pink one, a blue one, or a greeny blue, and then this masked one. Okay. And I'm going to just show you. So actually it's interesting because I've actually showed some little alternatives as well on the instructions. So it shows you everything that you've got in the kit, and it actually shows you here as well about what other things you can do with it. So just taking it a little bit, another step further, there are different ideas. I didn't actually know they did that. So it shows you on the back here the elements that you need for each card, and then obviously the box, but I'm not doing that just yet. So it says for card number 1, you need the green card, the sort of bluey green pool party card, and then you need one of these darker green spatter cards, and then you need one of these little brushed style cards, and then we're going to need some dimensionals, some sequins, and some of the little glue dots. Okay, so that's that, and then we need a hope and a tomorrow, and we're going to use a stamp as well. So that's our first card that is going to be required. So I'm going to pop that just to one side because I've got all the kit for that one. And then card number 2, it says I need the pink base, and then I need a plain white, and then we're going to use some of our little butterflies, and we're just going to use our stamp set, but we also need a little circle because it says on there that we're going to need a circle. So I'm just going to grab one of the little circles and just pop that there. Okay. So that's that one. I'll just keep the butterflies all together for the moment. And then for card number 3, you're going to need obviously we can do, I've got my envelopes all sitting at the side and we can do that at the end. So for card number 3, it's going to be this one, and that's where these beautiful masks come in. And basically the idea of this is that this is a base for the mask to go over the top of, and it kind of matches up with what's underneath. Just check I've got that. Yeah, I've got that the right way around. Oh yeah, so you've got a flower center, and it's got a watercolor look. You've got a watercolor splodge behind the butterfly there and behind the butterfly there. So it kind of ties up to give some more dimension of what's behind that cutout. Okay, and we're also going to need some additional butterflies from our little push out card as well for card number 3. Okay, and then we're going to need a big hope. So one of these, big hope. And we're going to need 2 little tags, so 2 little tags. And this kit is still available for £10, so you can still get this kit. So if you enjoy what we're doing and like the cards that we make, and you think, oh, I'd be able to do more, or if you haven't got the kit and you think, oh yeah, I like the look of that. So that's my 3 cards. Let's off to one side. And now it gives more detail on each one. So I'm just going to use my instructions because it gives more detail on what we're going to do. So on the first card, this one here, the blue green one, we're going to be stamping, and then we're going to be layering up. So it's basically going to be stamped on this lovely colored piece, and then we're going to layer up the little tabs and add some butterflies. So let's just go ahead and start with that. So I'm going to do my stamping first. You've got this beautiful big stamp here that says always hope, because you never know what tomorrow will bring. And just to say, this is a brand new stamp. It's never been used. And so I would practice before I go straight down onto my lovely patterned paper, because sometimes we need to treat the stamp before we use it. And obviously, if you've got a stamping tool as well, like the Stamparatus, I would say you probably would benefit from getting it out because of the size of the stamp. Let me just get a block out though, so, and I'll have a play and see what it's like. So just pop that on my block, and obviously as well you want to try and make sure that it's going to be straight. So just using my grid, I'll just try my best to get that as straight as I can. And then I'm going to open my little stamping spot, and there's a little perforation on this, so you can just, if you've got a sharp nail, you can run a sharp nail along. And then once you've kind of peeled off one side, you should be able to then just pop it up. Okay, and just be careful because it should be juicy. So I'm going to just come in and stamp, and because it's a clear stamp, you can tell if your ink is taken to the stamp. Okay, it's going to be really obvious, because on clear stamps you can see right away where you have got gaps. Okay, so you can come in and really ink up this stamp, and I can see right away if I show that. Let's get the camera. Now it's very patchy and blotchy on this side. Okay, I'll move my finger and you can get a good look. So I know that when I stamp that, it's going to be patchy and blotchy. So when you're stamping, do look at the stamp, because it does show you if it's going to stamp properly. So when you're actually, you know, before you bring it down to the paper, just look and see, oh, is that a bit blotchy there? That's not going to stamp properly, or that's not going to stamp very well. And just come back in with the ink pad. Because as I say, if there's blotches on the stamp now, that will be on your paper. So let's have a look. And that's why I say using a stamping tool is a good idea. So I'm just going to stamp onto my scrap here in front of me and see how it looks. It's quite a big stamp, so I'm going to stand up and then just try that and see what it looks like. And if it is patchy, I probably will go and grab my Stamparatus, actually, because I do want it to be right. It does look that the tomorrow bit's a bit patchy. So there is a little bit of blotchiness there. I'm going to just get my wipe and wipe it. And a little hint when you've got new stamps is that you can go over them with pencil rubber, like an eraser, just to wipe off any sort of conditioning that it's had when it's been in the factory, because sometimes you end up with some maybe like oils or resins and things on the stamps. And if you just, let me just see, do you have a pencil? If you just got like the rubber of a pencil and just kind of rub over the stamp, so just go over it. This is called conditioning your stamps. So you just go over it with the pencil rubber. Obviously it doesn't have to be a rubber that's on the end of a pencil, it can be any rubber that you have, and just go across the letters. And as I say, this is just conditioning your stamps. And it's usually these clear stamps that this happens with, but I mean, it can be on the cling stamps too. So this is just a little hint and tip. So if you go across it with the rubber, and then I'll just bring my wipe in, and then I'll just try stamping that again and see if we get a better impression. That's the word I was looking for. So let's now come in, stamp it up. Yeah, I actually do think that's made a big difference, to be honest. Just even looking at that, that looks better. So then I'll come in beside there and stamp that down. And because it's a clear stamp, you do need to hold it in place, sing happy birthday or sing a little nursery rhyme, because the ink gets absorbed into the stamp and then you have to let it have time just to release back onto the page. And actually that is a lot better. Just doing that conditioning has made a huge difference, because now I haven't got all the blotchy on the tomorrow and around where the hope is. And even, yeah, just conditioning that has made a big difference. So I definitely would say that does work. So I'm going to bring in my nice little card now that we're going to stamp directly onto. And I'm going to ink up my stamp again. And then we're going to stamp directly onto the card. So you just want to, when we're stamping this, just try and get it in the center of the card. Just try and line it up so that it's nicely placed onto your card. So let's just have a look. Just going to go for that. There we are. And again, holding it in place. And just to say, you don't have to, put the butterflies in exactly the same place that they put the butterflies. And if you wanted to add a little bit of ribbon somewhere, you can add a little bit of ribbon. It's, at the end of the day, this is going to be your card and you can do it however you want to do it. And then let's just have a look at that. There we go. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? So that worked really well. And I have to say that doing that little bit of conditioning was worth it. And then what they've done, they've popped the words actually over the stamping to really highlight those. So they're going to be stuck on there. So I would do those flat. And if you've got like little, as I would call them, sprue marks. So when you remove these little tags from their, like when you push the little tabs out from their mold, as it were, sometimes you get just little bits of paper just left. And it's nicer just to trim those off because it just neatens it off. They don't happen on every time, but just sometimes you'll be left with just a little bit of the paper kind of sticking out on the end, and it's just nicer to remove those. So I'll just show you maybe on one of these other ones to see if it's obvious just where they are. So just bringing that in really, really close. Not that one. Let's just see if I can get one. Let's try and get one so that it's really, well, they're all pulling out nicely, you see. Isn't it? They're all coming off really nicely. But you can actually see where they're left in the actual tab there. So there's a little one on the left there and a little one on the right. Sometimes when you push out your little tab, those little side bits come out onto your tab. So it's just worth noticing that, and it does make a difference if you take them off. Okay, and you get that when you're doing decoupage and stuff as well. And you're removing the little things from the molds. Okay, and I'm just, as I say, I'm going to use the little dots that they've given in the pack to glue these. So I will grab my pokey tool there and just pick up, and they probably they've said to use the dimensionals, but I don't really want to use the dimensionals, because I think if you use the dimensionals you'll see the words underneath, and I don't want to do that. But if you want to have the words shown underneath, then you know, please feel free to do that, but I just don't think I'd like that look. And you just peel the tops off these little glue dots. Okay, so there's just this, they're very small. Just peel the tops off those. You can use your glue if you want. You don't have to use the glue dots that are supplied, but I'm just thinking they've given you glue dots, so I'm just going to stick that over there. There we are. So I've got my hope on there. And then I'll do the same with my tomorrow. So I shall just get my little dots. And just make sure that you're picking up the glue dot with the tab, because sometimes you can actually just pick up the top level and leave the glue dot on the plastic. So just, and I on my off camera, sorry, and I use loads, of course, because you know what I'm like, I use loads of dimensionals when I use the foam pads, and I use loads of sticky, because the last thing I would want is to give it to somebody and the card fall off. That would just not be very profesh. So I'm very fussy about using loads of glue and loads of foam pads on my, I don't like whenever you use your dimensionals, because they'll say use 2 and you get a soggy middle, and I just don't like it. So I'd rather use more, and it'd be, you know, nice for the person receiving it. But that's just me. So stick my tomorrow down. There we are. That's lovely, isn't it? Really nice. And then they use 2 little butterflies. So and it's these small ones here that they're using. And they've also used some of the really pretty sequins. And I would shape the butterflies. So I'm just going to grab my scissors and I'm just going to give that a little bit of dimension, because you know what I'm like. You don't want to just stick it on flat, so definitely shape those. And you can create these watercolor backgrounds like what they've done here with inks. You can create that same look just using a water brush, or even your blending brush. You could get the same look on your card, just with ink and blending brushes or ink and water to create that lovely sort of washed look. And then you can pop your butterflies. I'll just decide where that, I can see where that, I've definitely put one down the bottom. I kind of think I want one sort of over where the hope is, to be honest. So I might do mine opposite, I just like it. Maybe, don't know. And then, well, you can decide where you're going to pop your butterflies. Oops, sorry. And then, to be honest, I think I would put one of these little sequins on my butterflies, because I really like whenever you pop a little bling onto the actual butterfly. And again, I'm going to just use the little, and I think one will be fine on the butterfly, to be fair. It's just really tiny anyway. Oops, Daisy. So I'll just stick that going there, and then grab the next one, pop it in the middle, and then I'll stick that one up there, and then I'm going to get these beautiful sequins, and I'm going to pop a sequin in the middle of my butterfly. Oops, it's not in the middle at all. So pop one in the middle there, and then I'll just get a different coloured one, because they are different. So some are sort of got a pink hue for the blackberry bliss, and some have got like the greeny hue, and then some are goldy. They're all different. They're really pretty, but they're quite holographic. So you can see that one's quite pink and that one's more sort of silvery blue. So that's so, so pretty. Love that. Right, now, just thinking, you could actually gut this so that you're not wasting, because I'm going to cover this up. So if you had a punch, you could actually punch out some shapes. So I think I might just do that. I might just grab a couple of punches because it's too nice. So I'm basically just going to come in with my punch. Actually, I wonder if I get two if I went that way. I have to be careful where it's quite a wide border. So I'm just going to go into the middle and just punch that out. And because this is going over the top, that punched out image, you know, isn't going to make any issue on my card front. But now I've got a really pretty tag. So don't waste it, is what I'm saying. This is how you get the most from your kit. And I'm just going to grab my glue. And I can glue that on now. So I'll just be mindful of going around the outside and missing that space there. So these are kind of just the hints and tips that are useful to know, I think, when you're doing these kits, to just make the most, because they are lovely little elements that you get in them. So that's that bit. And then we're sticking it down onto this lovely Pool Party card base. So that's going to get stuck. Just make sure there's no glue on there, because there's still a little bit of glue on that. That's going to get stuck on there. Actually, that's nice layered, actually, in terms of taking that and putting it onto another card. That's actually very nicely laid anyway. There's enough layer on that without having to create your own card base and stuff. So just putting the glue on, and then sticking that down. And it does say, if you wanted to, that you can add some more sequins to this. If you wanted to, you could add another couple of these little sequins. So I'll just add some of the colors that I haven't used already. So like a little gold one, I'm going to pop up there. And then maybe one of the sort of silvery ones. And just one more, I think, to kind of balance. I have one just over there. Okay, that's really pretty, actually. I really like that. So there was a few bits that we were able to learn from that, I think, in terms of saving. Even though we're doing it exactly as they've said. And I would definitely say condition your stamps.